But if I had to bet on one religion as if I were betting on the stock market for the future, you have to bet on Islam. Because Muslims are intolerant. And I'm not saying that disrespectfully, because if you're tolerant of everything, then you stand for nothing.
Yeah.
Facts.
Christians are so tolerant now. You don't believe it. They have gay pastors that I'm not even anti-gay, but if the book says don't have, like, what do you believe in now?
Right, yeah,
If
right.
if you're tolerant of everything, you stand for nothing. I can walk through London with a t-shirt saying Jesus is gay and nothing will happen to me. If I did the same thing with the Islamic prophet, I'd be dead before I got to the end of the street.
Dai Abdullah, the first openly gay imam in the Americas. An imam is like the pastors of the Islamic faith, like Muslim pastors. Think of them like that. Mushin Hendricks, the first openly gay imam in South Africa. Ludwig Mohammed, the first openly gay imam in France. Noor Warsam, the first openly gay imam in Australia. El Farak, the first openly gay imam in Canada. Like Dr. David Wood pointed out in his video, Andrew Tate's got to do a little more research there on the Islamic faith and their leaders. So Andrew Tate, he's made comments like this a few different times, how he can't have much respect for Christianity because of its followers, having these gay pastors, which in itself is an oxymoron. I agree with him there, where how can you have these spiritual leaders that are going against the Bible, going against the teachings of God, the words of God there. So he has a point, but he is doing something that I think a lot of people do, is judging a faith by its followers. And that's a pretty common thing to do, and it's kind of a common sense thing to do as well, because when you want to look at a faith, look at how people who say they are part of that faith live their lives, and that'll give you a pretty good indication. But the thing about it is that even though we are called to follow the example of Jesus, in 1 Corinthians 11:1, Paul says, imitate me as I imitate Christ, we're supposed to follow that example. We come into the faith of Christianity understanding that we aren't perfect, that we are sinners, that we mess up over and over and over again, even after coming to the Lord. And when it comes to being this Christian example to the world, we fail at that as well. And so for Andrew Tate and other people like him who are judging Christianity on the people who call themselves Christians and being like, no, I can't follow that because, for him it was, they don't even follow Scripture. For others, they think, well, Christians are hypocrites, or they'll judge Christians saying, no, they should be forgiving people in these situations. They should turn the other cheek, or something like that. They can't respect the faith because of the followers, where they need to understand that the followers are just like them. They are sinners just like themselves. Who they should be judging, and they don't really have a right to be judging him, but who they should be judging is Jesus Christ himself, or the leader of that faith, how he lived his life, because he lived his life the way that God the Father wanted him to live his life, the way that we are supposed to live our own lives, being an example. So people around all of us, even in the world, they should judge the Christian faith by how Jesus lived his life, not how the followers lived their lives. But again, I understand what Andrew Tate is saying there. When he looks at Christians, it can be shameful when nowadays they're starting to teach stuff that is explicitly clear in Scripture being a sin. Just a thought.